Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos Early and Late Pick 4s. Both wagers continue to feature outstanding pools. The Early Pick 4 pool was over $213,000 on May 5th, and the Late Pick 4 pool was over $190,000 on May 19th. And remember, Los Alamitos still offers the Pick 6 promo on Sundays if there's not a carryover. Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos, Saturday and Sunday nights.
And Burr gets the best of it, but Sonny's bursting through, and right down the outside, I think was Cannonball Charlie hurtling home. Our champion Wiener will receive a doghouse in the shape of a Wienerschnitzel restaurant, plus the fastest Wiener in the West trophy, and of course the revered Golden Championship jacket.
He loves to chase the ball, he loves to run super fast, so I'm just really excited that he finally won it.
Once again, the winner of the 2024 Wienerschnitzel Wiener Nationals, Cannonball Charlie. And we're already making plans for next year's event. If you have a doxy or you know anybody that has a doxy, email us at larace@losalamitos.com. Let's see if anybody out there can give some of these great weenie dogs a run for their money. Right now, the big winner is the big weenie, Cannonball Charlie.
And welcome to the Los Alamitos preview show. I'm thrilled to be joined by Michael Rona, Chris Wade, and George Duarte, the hottest handicappers out there right now. You fellows went 3 for 3 last week. Each of your selections a winner. How are you, Michael?
I'm fine, thanks, Orlando. You would have taken a deep breath after the Wiener Nationals, and I hope you had a restful couple of days in the aftermath.
I sure did, Michael. A fun Monday for me. Got to rest after a busy weekend. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing great, boss. A great weekend to race. The place is packed, and great to see all the weenie dogs out there. I'd like to see the place as busy as it was, and it was just a great weekend of racing, along with some nice quarter horse races as well.
And George Duarte, George, you are the basically the photo finish placing judge, helper as well. We had some really close finishes there on Wiener Nationals night, especially the championship race. Ended up being a dead heat.
Yeah, all the races delivered. You know, you got what you expected. Close races, chaos. You know, it was fun.
That's right, chaos. And of course, when you have 119 weenie dogs on the racetrack, there is definitely going to be some chaos along the way. But one thing that was not chaotic was your selections last week, because you guys hit it out of the park last week. Every one of your picks, going from Lawless World to Trying Harder to Woof, ended up just win here at Los Alamitos. Congratulations, all of you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, boss.
Let's take a look now at this weekend's action. We're going to have a 9-race program. Of course, Del Mar kicking off their meet 2 p.m. on Saturday. Losa will follow later on at 7:45 p.m. We have 9 races on tap on Saturday. First post, like I said, 7:45 p.m. And we have trials to the the John Deere California Juvenile Challenge. That's 24 2-year-olds will be in action. Breeders program will be next weekend. This week is the California Juvenile program here, and some nice 2-year-olds in action. We'll talk a lot more about these runners as well. We'll talk a lot more about each of your selections. We'll start with Michael's pick for this weekend, then we'll follow with Chris Wade, and George Duarte will be our third handicapper up to follow. But again, congratulations, you guys went 3 for 3 last week, and George and Chris, on Sunday, you guys swept the pick 6 as well. So congratulations as well on that. Let's take a little quick break here, and we'll be back with Michael Rona and his pick on Saturday night.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos Racecourse. Our next marquee event is California Breeders' Champions Night on Saturday, July 27th, with $600,000 in purse money on the line. The Governor's Cup Futurity will be headed by fastest qualifier favorite Jess Hawk, while the Governor's Cup Derby will feature top sophomores, plus the Spencer Childers Championship Handicap for top older horses, and the Rolling A Ranch Matron Stakes for distaffers. It's going to be a great night of quarter horse racing. The best of racing always at Los Alamitos.
And we're back on the preview show with Michael Rona. Michael, 9 races on Saturday night, trials to the John Deere California Juvenile, 24 juveniles in these trials. 11 of them are winners, so it should be a fun night of action. But what about you? Who are you going with this weekend, this Saturday here at Los Al?
Yeah, those trials make for an excellent late pick 3 on the card, but my choice for the program, the preview show, is going to be halfway through the night, race number 5, which is a 2-year-old maiden at 300 yards. I like the 5 horse for Scott Willoughby and Ed Allred, Foolhearted, Gabrielle Lara to ride.
3-1 on the morning night here for Foolhearted. Like you mentioned, Gabrielle Lara up. Jesus Rios Ayala rode this horse first out, trained by Scott Willoughby. It was a race won by Mr. Tuesdays, and Mr. Tuesday has been very consistent here at Los Alamitos. He actually might be in action later on the card on Saturday in those trials as well. So he's coming off of, he's one of those 11 horses that have won, that are back in action in the juvenile. But let's take a look at Foolhearted race once, and that was on June the 8th, Michael. So let's take a look at that replay, and you can walk us through it on this nice runner by Favorite Cartel out of Deceptive here. So there is the race here. We'll go ahead and take a full screen and hit play, and you can walk me through it. He's starting from post number 5 there on the light blue cap.
Yeah, gate 5 off a bit slowly. And then in the second half of the race, the walls were kind of closing in around him. He pretty much ran out of room as he was beginning to build some momentum. And he went to the line, maybe not fully tested, and he had a very interrupted gallop out. You can see him having to switch across heels of horses in front of him, even as the field went into the turn. So I just don't feel like he got the chance to properly stretch his legs and show us everything that he's about. It just got a little ugly in the closing 50 to 100 yards of that first out race.
Yeah, the winning time for Mr. Tuesday now won 15:88, Foolhearted, even with all that trouble, 16:04, not a bad time. We've seen some runners win with that time, but of course, you want to get under the 16-second mark. There's our maidens here, and part of this group here includes a couple of horses that have never raced before. Gentle Peace, States is 2 of them. They've drawn the inside post. Rack 'em Up Royal also in this field. All of those horses are maiden runners here going into race number 5.
You always have to respect the Lindolfo Diaz barn, especially with the 2-year-olds, and he trains the rail horse, Gentle Peace. So, yeah, I am certainly wary of that horse. But the rail can be a little difficult for horses debuting, and I'm just willing to take the risk against that horse with gate 1, and the fact that Foolhearted does have a little bit of race experience now, and it could serve him well. He is a full brother to Just a Fooler, who finished second in a race last Sunday night to Streaks of Power, who was just so brilliantly impressive coming off that extended layoff. And Just a Fooler had won his previous start. If you go back to the early races of the full sibling Just a Fooler, in his second start, Orlando, he was beaten just a neck in a trial to the Kindergarten Futurity before finishing 4th in the final. And then he won a trial to the Ed Burke Million Futurity. So the full brother, Just a Fooler, showed very good improvement going into his second career start last year, And if this horse, Fool Hearted, can show a similar pattern and just take a step forward with the experience under his belt from the debut, I think he'd be pretty tough to beat with one of the outside gates on Saturday night.
Up here we have the past performances for that race 5. There's the one Gentle Peace, like you mentioned, Lindolfo Diaz, winning at 15%. He's got 8 wins from 52 starts this year, and he, Jesus Rios Ayala, who rode Fool Hearted, is actually going now to the barn of Lindolfo Diaz for this mount on the number 1 horse, Gentle Peace, 9:05 on the morning line. This horse's workouts 12:6, 12:4. And of course, like you mentioned, always have to respect horses from the barn of Lindolfo Diaz. The number 2 horse, Spates, trainer Patricia Vischer has been giving this horse consistent drills. You can see 4 of them here on the form. Oscar Peinado up in Spates from the family of a mare named Caniska, who won the La Primera del Año Derby here at Los Al. There's a 3 RG Cartel. Best finish was a 3rd place finish in a debut race against Rob's Reason, who went on to qualify to the Edberg Million in Disputed at 4-1. Trainer Juan Aleman. There's the 5 Full Hearted at 3-1. And completing the field, number 6, Rack 'em Up Royal for trainer Paul Jones. The sire of Rack 'em Up Royal, Los Adobes, very new name. I don't think I've ever seen a horse sire by Los Adobes here at Los Al. It's from the family of a mare named Las Alamitos, who made over $200,000 here at Los Al. But again, Michael, your selection here in race number 5 is the 5 Fool Hearted. Any last thoughts on this race?
Well, you mentioned the somewhat obscure sire of the 6 horse. Those same owners have another horse debuting on Saturday night's card, an Alabama bred by a sire who's little known also. Just a couple of interesting breeding angles in play with those connections.
Mooney's Money.
Yeah.
Number 6 horse. And let me tell you, because I kind of looked at that as well. This Alabama bred horse is by a horse the name of He's Packing in 6 Bullets, who's a Tennessee bred. His sire, I can't remember the horse's name, but that sire is a Georgia bred. So you got an Alabama bred, a Tennessee bred, a Georgia bred, and I don't think I've seen 3 other horses in my time here at Los Alamitos from those states. So very interesting breeding here from Mooney's Money, Michael.
Yeah, for sure. Be interesting to see how they acquit themselves in California.
Yeah, and the workouts on Mooney's Money, not too bad. 13-1 first time, all of them out of the gate, 13 flat and 12-9, so a little bit improvement each time. 15-1, that's understandable considering, kind of like the breedings that I mentioned, just we don't know much about these runners. And I don't think He's Packing the Bullets might not have raced at all, and neither have his Georgia bred sire as well. So not much to go on as far as the sire's breeding or record here for Mooney's Money. The horses to watch here in this race, favorite Semental, we've seen him and do well, ran second last out, 3-1. Don Carmelo. Terrific Rock and Roll is one to watch out of the great mare, Terrific Energy. And the outside horse, number 7, Celtic Cartel. Another Lindolfo Diaz, Jesus Rios Ayala with the connections there. This horse has finished second twice here at Los Al, 8-5 on the morning line. Definitely the horse to beat in race number 6.
That horse favorite Semental, who breaks from the rail in the 6th. I had made a note about the horse from his debut, and then Chris Wade pounced on him for the preview show for start number 2, and he absolutely was best. Horse should have won. Chris was unlucky not to get a winner that night.
Yeah, you look at the comment there, the trouble line shifted in, bumped, lugged midway, and still to run second after all that. Horse broke 5th, but definitely you can see what a strong finish from favorite Semental. 1584, that winning time there on this runner. So definitely a chance to improve here in race number 6. Well, Michael, thank you so much for joining us. And once again, a really interesting selection here for you on the preview show. Best of luck. I know you'll be enjoying the Del Mar action on Saturday, and as you prepare for a fun Saturday night here at Los Al.
Yep, it'll be interesting and pleasurable to hear the dulcet tones of Trevor Denman again. It's become somewhat of a novelty. He just makes the cameo for the summer meet at Del Mar, but he'll be back in the booth, and I wish him well.
Thank you so much, Michael. Wish you well as well, and see you on Saturday night.
Good on you, mate. Hooroo.
Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos early and late pick fours. Both wagers continue to feature outstanding pools. The early pick four pool was over $213,000 on May 5th, and the late pick four pool was over $190,000 on May 19th. And remember, Los Alamitos still offers the pick six promo on Sundays if there's not a carryover. Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos, Saturday and Sunday nights.
And we're back in the preview show with the one and only Chris Wade. Chris, you're handicapping last week, not just you, but Michael Rona, George Duarte on fire, 3-for-3 last week. Sunday night, you guys win. You and George win 6-for-6 in that pick six sequence. So we expect big things from you today, Michael. Chris. Pressure is on. What do you have for us for Saturday?
Well, I'm going to give a long shot look to a horse in the 8th race. This horse worked better than it looked prior to the debut and ran pretty well in the debut. What caught my eye was the gallop out. The horse galloped out very, very well. The nice size individual. And with everything factored in, the number from the debut doesn't figure too far off the rest of the contenders in that trial for the John Deere. And this horse is expected improvement. Excuse me?
Who are you speaking about?
I'm speaking about the 6th horse, Kissing Me Goodbye.
Kissing Me Goodbye. Race number 8, a trial to the John Deere California Juvenile. There's 24 of them in there, and there's number 6, Kissing Me Goodbye. You're going with a 12-1.
Yes, this is a horse that has a look on my numbers. The horse figures like, half a length back from the debut, but with expected improvement in that second career start. The horse was a B-plus worker prior to the debut, so the ability's there, the connections are there, and they always improve second time over the Los Alamitos Oval in the second start of their career. And with expected improvement, half a length at very least, the horse could be a factor at a huge price in that 8th event that could spice up the late pick 4 and or the pick 6 there on Saturday night.
So when you say expected improvement, this is purely from your numbers, right? You're looking at the horse's trouble, and you're kind of factoring in how much that cost them, and then you're gonna kind of subtract time from the horse's previous time. Is that kind of how you define expected improvement?
Yeah, expected improvement. Well, we always do a trouble number that comes off the horse's final time, and then we do a track variant for that particular race. And then you come up with the expected numbers from that debut. And with expected numbers, the horse's debut was pretty good going up 300 yards. And the horse galloped out very, very well. So they always improve second start of their career with the race needed out of the way. And if that be the case with Kissing Me Goodbye for quality connections, the horse has looked to grab a nice slice of the pie at a huge price. I mean, it will be overlooked because it's against a good quality, good group of horses. But the horse could be a little bit sneaky there, and I like the way the horse galloped out, so the added yardage will be to the benefit of Kissing Me Goodbye in that 8th event.
Okay, well, let's take a look at Kissing Me Goodbye. Let's look at that last race. Okay, Chris, here it is. Kissing Me Goodbye is race number 8, June 22nd. Let's bring it full screen. Breaking from post number 2. Walk me through it once again. Kissing Me Goodbye.
Okay, well, the horse broke okay. Kind of head cocked sideways a little bit and kind of slowing the stride and kind of skied out a little bit there midway. But this horse leveled out strongly late the final half of the affair. The horse goes right by the one near the wire, but was striding out very strongly. He's a nice sized individual. It was only under a light hand shove. But look at that gallop out. The gallop that was very good into and through that turn. So I think this horse is going to really like this added yardage here tonight. And with everything factored in, the final numbers, control of the track variance, the horse kind of back bobbled a little bit there and lost a little ground away from the gate, but put forth a nice midway and finished well and galloped out strong. So with everything factored in, the horse has a look at the outcome in that 8th event to grab a nice slice of the pie and spice up the exotics at the very least, and very well with expected improvement, as they always do with a race under the way. The horse could be a big factor in that race at a huge price there, 12-1 in the program. I like the way the horse finished and galloped out strong.
Yeah, and Kissing Me Goodbye in this race was 20-1. 20-1, and now returns in these trials at 12-1. So, even though this horse on this here recap, on this replay, you can see the talent that Kissing Me Goodbye showed. You are talking about a really nice group of runners that she'll be facing in race number 8. Let me bring up once again the PPs for this race. And if you can see that there, Chris, let's go over the field. Here's race 8. Apolitical Duchess has hit the board every single time.
Yeah, the
5-1.
Has a look at the outcome. The horse is right there and finished deadly. The horse could grab a nice slice of pie.
Born in the Blood, winner first out and winner in a trial to the Kindergarten Futurity, finished 6th. Next out, had a nice workout here of 12.3. And I actually have that workout. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Born in the Blood. And the reason that I like to bring up this workout is because work in partnership with Toxic Details. So who's also in the trials here. So here's the workout, and you're gonna see Born in the Blood working from the outside post, Toxic Details from the inside post. Just a reminder, Toxic Details is a full sister to the 2-time world champion Danger. Born in the Blood on the outside post here. He's gonna go 12-3. Toxic Details is gonna win this drill at 12-1. We're talking about Born in the Blood. He's a little antsy, waiting for the break here. Came away fast, broke in a little bit, leveled out. And you can see here that he's trying really, really hard. He was tapped a few times during the work, and he did finish nicely. Still trailed Toxic Details throughout. And now let's take a look one more time. This time, kind of focusing on Toxic Details. She's also in the trials. She was fast out of the gate, broke in just a little bit, but look at that nice quick stride, opening up that lead on her stablemate, on her workmate, I should say, Born in the Blood. So both of these horses are going to be in action here on Saturday night as part of these trials. Yeah,
Toxic Details was pretty impressive there on that drill from the inside post. Nice size individual, galloped out well. But Born in the Blood, in her own right, she worked pretty well as well.
Yeah, so one more time here, let's bring up the PPs. And there it is. Once again, Born in the Blood, post number 2, 9-2. Janet Mitchell won by 3/4 of a length at 6-1. Random Cowboy, his one victory came in True Paradise in a $23,000 consolation race. AJ Flawless, 7-2 from the Barno Heath Taylor. Kissing Me Goodbye, 12-1. If this horse can get that victory, that might be your best of the year, Chris, because he's facing some really salty group here. Charlie Claire at 5-1, and Set the Edge, who ran the Kindergarten Futurity, 5-2 on the outside post for Heath Taylor, Keith Nelson.
Yeah, this is it's a good group of runners, and a lot of the contenders have had some trouble in the past, and like I said, including Set the Edge, who lost all chance in that last effort. Actually, the last couple efforts. Horse has a good amount of talent. The outside will definitely enhance Set the Edge's chances, but Kissing Me Goodbye ran pretty well in the debut, worked pretty well, and it did show a good amount of talent in the debut. And with expected improvement, the horse has a look at the outcome at a gigantic price. So we're going to take a stab with this horse. It's going to be our price play in the racing card. And if we can get this horse in the mix, it's going to spice up your exotics. and maybe at a big price on the pick 4, because it's going to be our price play in the card, and horse will look at the outcome with everything factored in there for quality connections.
Well, best of luck on the selection. I'll be rooting for it. Love to see that 12-1 winner for you. Like I said, that'd be your best win of the season so far. Thank you so much, Chris. Looking forward to the weekend, and of course, looking forward to a great weekend as well of quarter horse racing. Thank you, Chris.
All right, Bush. You have a good night.
You too.
Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos early and late pick 4s. Both wagers continue to feature outstanding pools. The early pick 4 pool was over $213,000 on May 5th. And the late pick 4 pool was over $190,000 on May 19th. And remember, Los Alamitos still offers the pick 6 promo on Sundays if there's not a carryover. Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos, Saturday and Sunday nights.
And we're back for the final segment of the Los Alamitos preview show. George Duarte coming in to batting cleanup here on the preview show. George, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm impressed with Chris taking a total of 1 shot. I was watching, and I knew right away when he said the race. I was pretty sure I knew who he would take, because that horse, when I was watching the replays, I thought he finished well too.
And you had a huge weekend last weekend. 11 winners from the 16 races. So your selection in the program, the Nightlines program, your top pick won 11 of those 16 races, and you also had a couple of second choices that also picked up victories, right?
Yeah, I had a couple second choices win, and then one of my top selections ran second at 10-1, I think it was, and the last on Sunday.
Do you have a 12-1 shot for your selection this week?
No, not a 12-1, but I don't have a favorite. I have another second choice I like, and that is in race 4.
Okay, Miss Royal Knockout, 20-1. You said it's not a big long shot, so can be Miss Royal Knockout. Separation by Fire, 4-1. That, I believe that's actually my top pick for this race. Better One, I know I picked Better One as my second pick. Jazzy Girl, a mare that's did not race until this year. She's 4 years old, so did not race as a 2-year-old, did not race as a 3-year-old. Coming off of a decent workout, I thought at 12-4. Finders COVID Kid, might be the favorite here in this race. Fleeing's favorite at 9-2, and CM Apolitical Dandy. I picked CM Apolitical Dandy in my top 3 as well. I thought this horse is a nice chance. It's had some nice races. Who is your selection in this one?
It is CM Apolitical Dandy. I've been chasing him, I would say, since probably after his debut. That's how far back I go with this horse. He always finds trouble. And then he, 3 back, he finally drew the outside. I thought, all right, here's the time, I'm gonna cash. And then he leans back and comes away slow. But then if you could look at I would like to look at the race on April 14th. I think that's the better race to look at to show his ability that he has.
All right, let's take a look at. You want to take a look at the 14th?
Yes.
Oh, you're going back. You're going back a ways there. You are right. You have been chasing this horse for a while.
He's gonna make me all that money back that I've lost on him. He's horse number 5.
Okay, walk me through it.
So he's antsy as usual. I mean, he comes in and bumps his horse pretty solidly right there. But then if you see, right, once the other horse clears, he responds well to the urging and finishes well. So he just needs to, get his head in the game at the start. Look at it. He's striking out well. He's finishing good. And with that time, that's more than enough to get it done in this field. I mean, anything under 1570, I think, wins this race. He's facing a few that just haven't really impressed me. I know the favorites could improve tough, but I looked at that race and I didn't see where the horse could improve. The number 5 Finders COVID Kid. I thought it was an okay effort. I just didn't see where I think the horse can improve. So I think he can probably just repeat that effort. And I think if Dandy gets out of the gate and shows what he can do, I think he could still pull off the upset.
Well, you got experience on your side. This will be CMA Political Dandy's 13th career start here at Los Al, but this horse has found has hit the board several times. He's actually finished third 4 times here at Los Al. So, he has been one of those horses that has kind of been knocking on the door. And for that last video that you just showed, you can tell that, he's got talent if he can just find a way to break nice and clean.
Yeah, that's all I think he needs. He doesn't need luck by other horses having trouble. He just needs to, mind his manners, and I think he's the best horse.
And of course, your commentary is always available on the Nightlines program here at Los Alamitos. Every racing program is also featured on the daily racing form Closer Looks for the Los Al races. And we are happy that you are a part of the team. And you also take a look at a lot of races from around the country. This Saturday, we have the running of the Rainbow Derby.
Yeah, I mean, the race goes through a Dark Enemy. I haven't really looked at the field, honestly, because I've been just busy with Los Al, but I appreciate, Dark Enemy's owners saying, we don't want to go in the Oaks. We want to go against the best. So they went in there. I mean, she qualified third fastest. And, I'm rooting for her. I don't know if I know there's a couple of horses, especially with Toby Keaton, that can give her a run for her money.
Well, I have the PPs here for the Rainbow Derby. It's a $796,000 race. Los Alamitos is bringing this race in as part of our simulcast action on Saturday. Post time here is 3:50 p.m. So it's right there in the middle of the Del Mar action. But I know quarter horse lovers will find the Rainbow Derby. Screen Machine for trainer Trey Wood, Ricky Ramirez, 10-1. Political, a horse that we've seen here at Los Alamitos for trainer Eddie Willis. You can see several running lines here from Los Alamitos. One, the Los Al Juvenile here, and also the Asai Handicap. So a 2-time nice winner here at Los Al. Jace on Fire, a big long shot at 30-1. Visa at 8-1. That's one of the Toby Keaton horses that you were mentioning. 37% win ratio right now for Toby Keaton has won. Visa has won 4 in a row. There's Dark Enemy, a 9 out of 10. And Chris Way said this horse should be undefeated. Only time that she lost was to Cowboys Gun Z in the All-American Futurity. Dashing Tres, 4-1, also from Toby Keaton's barn. Moe's 20-1. Did run second to Unrelentless. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Unrelentless ran here at Los Al last year. He may have run either second or third in the Golden State Million.
Yeah.
Johnny Ringo, 1, 2, 3. Mark Jungers. And we've gone to know Mark because he trains Asher, who won the Los Al Oaks here. He's got a horse here in the Rainbow Derby. Johnny Ringo, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and she's in the Oaks.
Asher's in the Oaks. Yeah, she won another Oaks race. Was it a Remington maybe? But after winning the Oaks here, Asher went out of state and won another Oaks. There's the 9 Shoeless, 7-2. And there is number 10, Unrelentless. Ran 6th in the Los Al 2 Million, ran 2nd in the Golden State Million, 4th in the Heritage Place Derby, a horse that we know well. So we've seen a couple of these horses here at Los Alamitos, Political and Unrelentless. But like you said, George, it is Dark Enemy's race. They got to beat her.
Yeah, it's Toby Keaton versus Dark Enemy. That's how I look at it. And then, you can try to get one of the Eddie Willis horses to round out the try or the super. That's the way I look at it.
Can't disagree with you on that one, the way that Dark Enemy has performed. Anything else, George, about the weekend that stands out for you, or you want to talk about?
The trials are pretty good. I like that there's a lot of horses that are stretching out. So then that's where it gives you opportunities. If you feel a horse can stretch out, and then the reverse, which is you don't think they can stretch out, then that's horses. You can take it. I would take those races more to bet. Bet the tries and the supers in those races because they pay really well. You can get a long shot in there. It's going to pay for $1, $500-$600, You know, it's a lot easier to hit one race versus 4 races, and like in a pick 4. So I rather, in those 3 races, I'm going to try to tackle the super, try to take out horses that I think can't handle the distance, and play prices like Chris's 12 to 1 shot. That if he runs, second or third, I take that as a win because he's gonna make the super pay good. So that's what I'm gonna look. That's how I'm gonna attack them.
Yeah, I forgot to ask Chris if he wasn't going to include him in all. I'm sure he's going to include him in all his supers and all all of those multi-horse bets in that race. And if he can just finish in the top 3, if he can just repeat that effort, he certainly has a chance to do that. So yeah, that's a great tip for our horse players out there. If you really like a horse at a big price, you just have to get lucky and hope that horse hits the board, and you can maybe cash for a nice price in those supers and the tries.
Yeah, that's like I think the supers are one of the forgotten bets. I mean, it's basically a pick 4, but it's just all in one race. So if it's an 8-horse field, in reality, if you have a single, say you have a single in the pick 4, then there's only 7, 6, and 5 to finish off. Second, third, and fourth, compared to a pick 4 where you're gonna have to face, like the late pick 4 to be 8, 8, 8. So I rather, if I have a single, I think the single is more powerful in a super than it is in a pick 4, because then you still have to, in the next legs, you're going to have to still compete with 8 to get the top spot, and in the next race 8, and the next race 8. But in the super, the farther you get down, the less options there is. In fourth, there can only be 5 horses that can finish 4th, versus in a pick 4 where you're competing, 8 horses are competing for the top spot.
And if it's a pool of, like, let's say 30,000, 35,000, and you hit something like that with like that 12 to 1 that Chris has, there's a chance that you might pool.
I mean, the 10 cents can pay 1,000 rather easily, and it's hard to hit $1,000 pick 4. So I mean, and then that's for $1. I mean, a 10 cent, so it's a super effect is always a bet that you got to remember, especially if you're not that confident in the pick 4s. I would attack the race through the supers.
Good point there, George. George, thank you so much for.
Oh, there's another thing I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about, the glances. I put a lot of work in them. I put about 6 hours. Last week they paid off really well, and the website offers them at a really cheap price. I mean, you get, at the highest end, you can get them for 90 cents a card for the glances and my picks and Chris's best picks of the night. He has a prize play and he has the best bet. It also, has your picks in there and a pick 4, and for 90 cents a card, that you can't beat that. I mean, if you're paying me by hour on that 90 cents, that's 15 cents an hour that you're paying me to watch replays for you and give you my opinion. And I don't think you can beat that.
Well, let me share that page. If you go to handicapping, racing program subscriptions, there's the pricing there. I don't know if we've ever shown at a glances here, but here's what a sample at a glance would be. So here's what the glances would look like, George. The selections there on the side, you can see my selections there. Yours would be right above. You have the highest equibase speed index or figure at this distance. We tell you which horses had trouble in the last race, horses that are up in class, down in class, and of course, the main key part of the glance pages is the comments on each and every horse in the race. You are looking at every one of these horses. You're the trackman here at Los Al, so you look at every replay, every angle. You look at the pan shot, the head shot, the drone shot, and you're giving the commentary, full commentary here on the glance pages. Jose Contreras was doing this for us before, and now you're the man in charge on these pages. So, like you said, you're putting a lot of work, and it's very affordable to get all this information at losalamitos.com.
Yeah, I recommend it. If you're somebody who's either starting off with, learning Los Al, or even somebody that's been doing it for a while, it doesn't hurt, especially at such a low, price to get in, that, it can help, like Chris's horse that he just gave out. I mean, you just add them in the pick 4, you add them in the super, and he hits, it already pays for your subscription for the whole year. So it just, is that one horse that you might have overlooked that I can't overlook because I have to literally look at every single horse. I have to watch all the replays. I chart almost every horse's, unless they're shipping in, I charted all of them. So I've seen them all. Something that you may have missed, I'm sure I would have picked up.
Can I say it better myself, George? So encourage everybody that's watching to take a look at the glance pages. We are going to offer next week California Breeders' Champions Night. This is a little bit off topic, but similar. Next week is California Breeders' Champions Night here at Los Al, and DRF is going to offer the PPs for California Breeders' Champions Night for free on their website. And your comments are featured on the PPs as well. So if you want to take a look at George's comments for free next week on California Breeders' Champions Night, that'll be available on drf.com. They're always available on the print edition as well, nationally, wherever you see the Los Alamitos past performances. Thank you so much, George, for your time, your hard work, and looking forward to the weekend here at Los Al.
Yeah, hopefully we can go 3 for 3 again.
Yeah, batting 1,000, keep it up.
I'll try to.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos Racecourse. Our next marquee event is California Breeders' Champions Night on Saturday, July 27th, with $600,000 in purse money on the line. The Governor's Cup Futurity will be headed by fastest qualifier favorite Jess Hawk, while the Governor's Cup Derby will feature top sophomores, plus the Spencer Childers Championship Handicap for top older horses, and the Rolling A Ranch Matron Stakes for distaffers. It's going to be a great night of quarter horse racing. The best of racing always at Los Alamitos.